it's Rob Moore here from Progressive, and I am with royalty. I'm with the father and son dynamic duo of Mihail and Nitin. Do you want to say hi to everyone?
Hi everyone.
Hi.
Okay, so we caught up on the couch in our office. We're in our training suite now in our office maybe a year ago.
Sounds like that? Right. Yeah, sounds about right.
And how long have you been in the Progressive community?
Second year in now.
Okay.
So we just finished our 2 years.
Right. 2 years.
And
wow.
going to the third year.
Oh, going into the third year. Okay, so could you just share your top line results since you started Progressive? How many properties, cash flow, equity, JV finance, HMOs, no money down, you know?
Okay. In a nutshell, we've kind of moved from when we started, we had about a 2.6 million portfolio. We've gone to just under 6 million portfolio now.
Wow.
That's within, well, that's probably, last time I looked at these results was probably about March. That's slightly bad, but yes, I haven't got around to tatting up for the last quarter. So
they might be about 4 months old.
They're about 3 months old at least at the moment.
Well, the way the market's growing, isn't it? Yeah.
London especially, yes, it has improved.
Yeah.
We've gone
Can I just pause you there quickly?
Sure.
We'll finish that in a minute. But you're London. And I get a lot of people say to me, oh, you can't do it in London, doesn't work, price is too high. What would you say about that?
It is harder in London in some aspects, but it's just what strategy you use. You've got to chop and change your strategy. We've got some stuff in London, we've got stuff outside of London as well.
Yeah.
Outside of London, it's still southeast, it's still relatively high. But
so what are you making work in London then?
At the moment we're doing conversions. They seem to work a bit better, and it's trying to find it the right price. So we had the doctor surgery, which we spoke about last time, which we're now completing.
Yeah.
That was into 2 flats.
Give us the numbers on that, purchase price, refurb and then end value.
Purchase was about 570 purchase, 575 purchase. Refurb was about 200,000. It was going to be 800,000 all in all. We're at the moment valuing about 1.1.
Wow.
1.1 mil.
And how did you finance that? How did you finance that?
It was a joint venture. So learning from here about, you know, when we started, we didn't do joint ventures before. We kept it very clean and simple, thinking that's the best way.
Yeah.
But we probably let a lot of opportunities go because of that. This was a joint venture between us and another partner, and we actually ended up, initially we used a financing company.
Bridging finance.
Bridging finance. Then we worked out it was more expensive. We then bridged together to buy the bridging finance out because of other complications.
Yeah.
And it is that lesson, something that you and Mark have always said, which is when you're doing these conversions, make sure you've got the margins.
Yeah.
You don't realise how time flies by, and you know that margins stretch. So allowing that time was really important for us.
So you ended up JVing?
Yeah. Yeah. We ended up we JV'd from the beginning, but we both then put in the money to continue all the way through.
Okay. And there's what about just working the figures, 300 grand equity in that?
Yeah. 300 grand equity in that.
So this £6 million portfolio, what would you say equity is in that?
It's probably around about 1.7 million.
Pretty good.
At the moment.
Okay.
Yeah. That was again in March.
Yeah. And what about the cash flow that portfolio?
It gives us about 18,000 a month.
Wow. Who spends most of that?
I spend now.
Oh, you're getting leveraged here.
100% leverage.
I've got a time to spend, though that's why I'm taking best of it.
Yeah.
He's doing all the hard work and I'm just coming in.
What did you do before?
I was in finance, so I was a finance director for a FTSE 250.
Oh wow.
So I was in corporate, I'm a qualified accountant, so
yeah.
I kind of left that life just because I thought it was time to take a bit more, you know, control of one's own life. I was doing stupid hours, doing 80, 90 hours a week. Wow. A bit like you when I
Sounds like me, yeah.
Well, when I had my little one, I didn't see her for a week. So when she was about 4 months old, I think I went a whole week without seeing her once.
And was that one of those?
It was one of those moments that you think, you know what the hell is it for? Yes, I was earning good money. It was all very good, but you question life. You can't see it, and you can't see yourself getting out of it.
No,
that's the worrying thing.
I think, you know, a lot of the stories, and like my story, a lot of people get into property because they're kind of a bit skint, and so yeah, it's tough to be like that, but you've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
80 hours a week, 6-figure salary, all your life to get to you know high up in a FTSE 250 company. So walking away from that must have been.
It was scary. In truth, if it wasn't for Dad, I wouldn't have done it.
What if someone watching doesn't have a dad like yours?
I think it's also just working out, having your basic numbers. When you have that salary, you know you've got a certain amount saved up. So before I left, I bought 3 properties in the year I was leaving.
Oh, so you did it.
That was
what did your boss think of that?
Well, effectively they didn't know because I was my boss.
Oh, right.
To a certain extent, I only reported one further up.
Yeah.
But effectively, that was a forward planning.
So would you recommend that then, kind of part-time, have a plan?
Even if you're employing someone else like us to do it hands-free for you, but the point is, your cash flows, you've got peace of mind. My wife's quite conservative, so it's quite funny that, you know, taking that step wasn't easy. She was very supportive. But
I bet she's happy now.
Yeah, she's left her corporate role and joined me.
Really? There you go. Okay, so we did cash flow, 18,000 a month.
Yeah.
We did equity 1.7. We did your portfolio doing commercial conversions. You said that you package for other people as well.
Yeah, so our core business has been kind of the hands-free.
Yeah.
And that's what we started off with. We didn't have names for all of these things until we came here. Everything was, this is what we call it, and Rob calls it this. Ah, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
There you go. So we managed to put names to these things.
Yeah.
We had over 11 years when I was full-time. I had only 2 clients.
Wow, 2 clients in 11 years?
Yeah.
How many clients in the last 2 years?
And last 2 years it has gone to nearly...
We're 13 clients on top. So we're quite selective with this. Because we're not trying to be the cheap end.
Yeah.
We're doing end-to-end. But we know our fees might be high, but we'll deliver those results. But we also try to give other added value where people won't think outside the box about tax. They won't think outside the box about what next, what's the reason for it. A bit like what you've taught us as well.
Yeah.
There's a reason. It's not just about money. It's finding that reason and trying to work to the goal and giving them something that's actually going to add real value to them.
Realize their dreams.
Yeah. All right.
With the investment in property, but we take step 1 to the end till they get their dreams realized.
So
we plan everything. At least 2 to 3 years forward planning for each client.
Okay, cool. So if you were already doing well when you started, which it sounds like you had a great career that you'd forged for yourself and your dad had already built a property business, what did Progressive add value to? Obviously your portfolio has grown, but how have we helped?
We didn't realise some of the stuff that was out there at all. You kind of get boxed into knowing how you do stuff. We knew how to do HMOs for years, and that's all we did initially for 11 years, and we didn't think twice about it. It wasn't easy by any means, but it wasn't difficult. It's what we understood.
Yeah.
Didn't know about joint venture financing. Didn't know about conversions to the extent we didn't have the support that if you wanted to ask a quick question, there's a community there that someone's already done it. There's a good few people that are well ahead of us, especially like Rob and Mark. Again, they've been there, done it. They can give you real life examples and what next when you're stuck.
Sure.
Otherwise, it can be a lonely world. Yeah. You're just carrying on.
How much JV finance have you raised? Have you tallied it up?
Yeah, we're now about 1.5.
Wow. Millions.
Millions, sorry.
Not thousands, No,
1.5
1.5 thousand.
Yeah. So,
okay, wow.
So
and had you done much JVs before Progressive?
We'd done one.
No. Well, we did one, but it wasn't properly formatted, and that was
our learning curve.
The learning curve.
It's an expensive learning curve.
We do lots of JVs, and we do higher end in the sense each unit we get into, each investment we get into is every deal is going up in the value. Like we are doing more of a £500,000 projects than doing that. Previously we were not doing anything less than 100,000, but now our minimum entry point is more than 250,000 each unit.
Just purely because house prices shot up and we're sticking to the southeast, which is what we understand and know. So we've not ventured up north yet.
So you're sitting in a great position. What would you say to someone wanting to make the step? Maybe they can relate to you, or maybe they haven't got a lot of money to start. What would you say to someone?
What we learnt was there's always a place to start. There's lots of not just different courses, but there's different strategies you can use. Some don't require money; they just need a lot of effort. We went down the it needs money route, but there's so many in the community that have gone down the it doesn't need any money, and they're doing fantastic. You know them, the real life examples. It's not made up. We've gone down the let's finance this and bankroll it because we had the connections and we worked towards that, and that's worked for us as well, in truth.
What would you say to someone who may be a bit worried, thinks it's risky, or like you, have a career, a lot to lose?
Look at your numbers. I mean, for me, as an accountant, I always end up looking at the bloody numbers. Spreadsheet galore. Just like Mark, spreadsheet galore completely. Yeah. Get to a place where you're comfortable, you know what your minimum requirement is of what you need to live off.
Yeah.
If you cover that, you got peace of mind. Then carry on and risk a little bit of the rest.
Yeah.
If you don't do it, it never changes. He's the risk taker out of the two of us. And if it wasn't for Dad taking some of those risks, I don't think anything would have changed.
Yeah. What advice would you give?
Dad? I will say, set your goals, set your financial targets, and go for it.
Yeah. Do you think anyone can do it?
I think everyone will be able to do it, but you need a lot of perseverance and not let it down, and have a good company around you who will build you up when the time is down. And everybody goes through. I've gone through the time when I was hammering, am I in the right place right now? But then company around give me the moral boost and the strength.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is progressive has helped me, is doing bigger deals with a confidence.
Yeah.
And whenever I'm down or up, whenever I come and attend the progressive gatherings, I go with positive energy.
Yeah.
And that's the positive contribution.
Yeah, there is a lot of energy around here, especially with the number of people, everything else.
Yeah.
And you become friends. You get to know people quite well.
Yeah. And you need a lot of positive energy, because whatever circle we are moving, I meet roughly about 200 people a month in my normal lifestyle, in a gathering. Gatherings, because of the and half of them are millionaires.
Yeah.
But they are not in the properties.
Yeah.
And they always push you back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Push you back. Yeah. And they give you advice which they have never experienced or implemented. So you need the right positive people around you.
Okay. Well, Nitin, thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Rob.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.